Hello, Doc Severson here for the ReadySetCrypto Premium Newsletter Market Update for Tuesday, August 14th. I'll start out today looking at Bitcoin versus the US dollar. This is really not what we want to see today because we spend most of our time looking at this, but it's actually holding support fairly well at 6,000. We're also starting to see just the faintest hint of positive divergence on the RSI. That by itself doesn't really mean anything. We still have the rest of the market heading lower. Really what I want to talk to you guys about today is Ethereum. In just the last few days on Ethereum, we've lost approximately 44% of its value. And again, one thing I want to bring to your attention, guys, and this is what I've been talking about for quite some time. When Bitcoin was making its little run to the upside, what was happening with the rest of the coins, Ethereum included, was this was setting up as a bear flag. So when you see in the midst of a downtrend like this, when you see a very slight rising trend like this, watch out for the lower high and the break of that neckline. That is a bear flag. This is textbook. This is right out of, I mean, you could put this in a dictionary and say this is a bear flag. Now, what I want to look for here, we've already made an initial 2% investment into our portfolio. When we did get the initial signal down here to add our 2%, that's okay. We are not trying to catch the bottom. All we're trying to do is to lower our cost basis and get as much edge as we can during that process. Now, we have seen Ethereum on the RSI, and I tend to use the RSI for catching bottoms like this. It's a very sensitive, very good indicator for this, a relative strength indicator through Wells Wilder. We've seen levels below 20 like this before. So back here in late March, we saw this level, same as what we're seeing right now. However, this is what I'd like to see. Notice the positive divergence here. Notice how the price makes essentially equal lows with a higher low on the study. That is a Class B divergence. Class A divergence would be lower lows with a higher low here. This is not bad though. A Class B divergence, that would be our signal to enter. So we could add at that point if we see something like this happening. Now, we're also seeing some good volume in here. That's really good. We're close to capitulation, but not quite. There's no reason for me to enter right at this point yet. Perhaps we'll see something lower here, and then we'll start to see the beginning of a bottom. We will definitely see at that point, we will see positive divergence, and we'll be green light. We'll be able to get a really nice entry on Ethereum. Now, looking at the rest of the market, I've got the screener open down here. What's really interesting is that if we sort on all of those coins with a positive change, notice that all of these are using Ethereum as the reference currency. So think about this for a second. Again, this is where you have to think outside the box a little bit. If you are using Ethereum as a reference currency, that means it's in the denominator. So whatever your coin is, if this is going down in value relative to whatever is in the numerator, any of these currencies here, then by definition, the entire value of this, if the denominator goes down, the entire value of this will go up. Now, one of the reasons that we have so much pressure on Ethereum right now is because of derivatives. And this is what's interesting about this market. Wait until we see derivatives across the board for everything. This is one way that you can actually take something to the short side. So not only do we have ICOs apparently dumping their tokens, but also what they're doing is to hedge themselves, they're jumping onto BitMEX and shorting this thing. So they're coming into BitMEX and shorting this with leverage. And going into BitMEX, this is how you would do something like that. Go in here, pick the pair that you want, in this case, Ethereum, and you can sell short on this. You can pick whatever leverage that you want to. You can go up to 50 times here, 50 times leverage, sell short. So for a small amount of capital, you get an amazing amount of leverage for something that is just plummeting right now. So I'll go back to Bitcoin here and finish up. So what we are looking for, again, this is what I've been talking about for quite some time, is that I need capitulation. I need capitulation on this market to signify that we have found a bottom. And again, I've been going over this the last few days, but what capitulation looks like is a bottom that looks like it has no end. When something looks like it's a waterfall decline, when it looks like it's falling off a table and it has no bottom, this is where we get those emotional responses. This is where we get the volume from. And this is where we get people to capitulate and give up. And that will mark the bottom. That will mark the bottom. It won't seem like it that at the time, and we can certainly take our time with this. We don't need to catch the very bottom. So don't get this in your mind that when I say that capitulation is here, that we have to catch that very day. Notice also that we got another shot back here in 2015 to get on board the bottom, because all we did was we got 9 months of chop in this area, and then finally the volume came in here on the first parabolic move higher, and that printed a higher low, and the game was afoot from there. So patience is still the name of the game here. We don't have to catch the bottom. We don't have to catch the falling knife. But what I would like to do is, while things are depressed, this is when I would like to start to build piece by piece, brick by brick, that portfolio that we're going over, our version 2. All right, folks, that is it for today's report. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the excitement. We'll see you tomorrow.